Six new players for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, first-round pick Terrion Arnold. Ennis Rakestraw Jr., they trade up and get in the second round. Let me tell you about this kid, too. This is a player that Brad Holmes absolutely loved. This is, first of all, I'm going to go in order here. This is Rakestraw talking with CBS at the Combine. Let me go in order here.
As a pro, once you get into the league, what makes you think that you're going to be the best corner coming out of this draft?
I'll say I'll start with accountability, because without accountability, you won't touch the field. I got to go in there and gain the trust of the older guys and the coaches right away so they can feel comfortable with me and knowing I'm going to be in the right place at the right time. That's number one for me. I have no personal goals in the league. The first thing I want to do is win over my teammates and show them I can play special teams, slot, corner, whatever they need me to do. So that's my goal. And then doing those and achieving those things and put me where I want to be as a player.
So there's Rakestraw there. What about Brad Holmes, okay? What about Brad Holmes talking about Rakestraw? Loves this kid.
We didn't go into it saying that we were going to get two corners, in the first two rounds. We really didn't. It's just he was the best. He was the highest graded guy, for us at the time. So we went ahead and you know how we roll. We went ahead and got him. But those were also our top two ranked corners as well.
Can I just say this quick about that last part? The grading system that Brad Holmes and Campbell and the entire scouts organization with the Detroit Lions, what they see in players is different than from what anybody else sees. I really believe that. They did it with Gibbs last year, Gibbs over Bijan Robinson. They had this year, and I really believe them. Maybe that's my mistake. Maybe I shouldn't believe them, but I really do believe
worked out pretty good
that these are the top two corners on their board, and they got them both.
Yeah, 100%. We talked before the draft. Brad Holmes is the magic that he's worth, a.k.a. the mad scientist. What he's done in the draft has allowed us to sit back at home, and when they make a pick, when they take a player, no matter what school, no matter what pick, no matter what the injury situation is behind that player, you believe in that player because they really vet these players and they really go through the process. I like Rakestraw a lot, and if they said they were 1 and 2 on their board, then darn it, they're 1 and 2 on the board. We know Terrion Arnold was most people's number one, so we know that. And if this is the guy that they want, that fits their system, that fits Aaron Glenn, that fits the way that they're going to be coached, then this is the guy. I'm excited for this pick. And also, too, you look at it. He's an Alabama guy, although he went to Missouri. People that don't know the story, he was going to Alabama. Nick Saban was really recruiting him heavy. He legitimately was on his way. He had verbally committed to go to Alabama. At the last second, he decided to go to Missouri because he wanted a program that wasn't built from the ground up. He wanted to be a part of a program that wasn't, insert 5-star here, you go to national championship. So he went to Missouri. He took the longer route and the harder route, but he is a leader. He's a stud, man. I like this pick for them. Another thumbs up for me.
I love these kids, man. What a difference from last year and the year prior, the defensive backfield, to the one you're going to see coming up. And I don't think they're done with free agency yet. I still think Stephen Gilmore comes here. This team, like we said, they're only 1 or 2 players away from really maybe getting to that Super Bowl. And that's exactly the way he drafted.
Well, you talk about all these defensive backs. Not only the 2 they got in free agency, but then they added Emmanuel Mosley. They've got their top 2 picks are corners. There's only so much time out there to play. Brad Holmes addressed that over the weekend as well.
A lot of these guys, where we're at as a roster, man, if they win a spot and play, then they play. If they don't, they don't. You look at the corners, we really like these corners. They're rookies. I don't know, they got to win a spot, but because Carlton Davis has been a proven starter. A healthy Emmanuel Mosley is a proven starter. Amik Robertson is a proven, these are good players that have been proven starters that's made play. It's not just a given, but they all want to play. They're all wired right. But, man, look, and it's good to be there from a roster standpoint, you get, if these corners, they play. They got to win a spot. And that's for everybody. So it's a good feeling to be in a spot where we feel good about the depth we have. We feel good about the future we have. But, man, those guys got to compete. and win spots. But I know that we're a better football team now to take that step.
What do you think that competition is going to look like come training camp?
Yeah, I mean it's a bloodbath in there now. It is, and that's what makes everything better. That's what makes the room better, makes the defense better, makes the team better. Competition just brings the best out of everybody.
I just love that. I absolutely love that. You create competition at those positions. Get people on your team, sign players on your roster that aren't afraid to compete. Nothing is owed or guaranteed to one player on this roster. You want time? Go win time.
Yeah, 100%. In 2007, I was with the Cleveland Browns, and they had drafted me in 2005. They had brought in Joe Jurevicius in 2006. They brought in Tim Carter from the New York Giants in 2007. They drafted Travis Wilson, a wide receiver out of Oklahoma in the second round. You're just loading it up. At the end of the day, it's up to those players to make those plays. It's up for those players to show you why they deserve to get on the field. Just because you draft a player, Tom and Ryan, just because you bring a player in free agent, that doesn't guarantee you them a spot. That doesn't guarantee that they're going to be the best players or they're going to be the ones that are in there in an intricate part of what you want to do. So I love what Brad Holmes said about that. He's creating competition. That's where you get the best. When you bring in the type of players, whether it's free agent, whether it's draft, the type of players that want to work. We showed that Tyreek clip last week. You put it in, Ryan. Tyreek was just talking about pause. When Tyreek was talking about, I messed up in the playoffs. That's on me. He can talk to me like that because it's my job. That's the type of players that Brad Holmes is bringing. The type of players that Brad Holmes is drafting. These Bama kids in his Rakestraw, and we'll get to the rest of the guys in his draft. Competition is how you're going to play for a team that finished top 4 in the NFL last year, the Detroit Lions.
And as Detroit Dabber puts in the chat, Amik Robertson actually retweeted that clip and loved what Brad Holmes said. And I think that's part of it too. Like you have to get players on your team. And in all of these draft picks, whether it's, Terrion Arnold or Ennis Rakestraw or anybody else that we'll talk about down the line, you just hear these guys speak and you're like, that's a Lions player.
That's a Lion.
That's a Lion. You know what I mean? Just how this culture has changed in just 3 short years.
Amazing.
You hear Terrion Arnold, Lion. Rakestraw, Lion. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just so great. Amik Robertson retweets the Brad Holmes sound on competition. Lion.
Easy.
These guys run towards competition. They don't run away from it.
The thing that they run towards is transparency, Ryan. You've talked about this. Ryan, you've talked about this. I mean, Maz, you've talked about it as well. When you're in the league, you just want a coach to be honest
That's
with you.
it.
You just want a front office to do, Maz, not even 100% of what they say. Just give me 50, and I feel okay. The Detroit Lions are doing more than that. They're telling guys, look at the drafts, look at the players, look at who they paid before the draft. They paid their guys, so they're showing guys, hey, look, you come in here, you take care of business, you do what you're supposed to do, you honor the contract, or we're going to take care of you and we'll take care of you in space. They paid Amon-Ra St. Brown, they paid Penei Sewell, and we know what's going to happen with Jared Goff. It's not done now, but it will be done in the future. If I'm Amik Robinson and I see that, it's very simple. They're not making things up. They're not hiding things in the background. You come in, you play well, you'll be a Lion. We'll take care of you. If I'm a draft pick and I see this blueprint, it's no funny money. It's no Minnesota Justin Jefferson situation. It's not a player that's outplayed the contract, but now they got to beg and plead with the front office to get paid. They're showing you, you ball out, you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get paid. If I'm anybody in this draft that got drafted by Detroit Lions, I'm licking my chops because I know it's simple. Come up, show out, get paid. Oh, by the way, win games.
Did you hear Amon-Ra St. Brown over the weekend? This is a way different Lions team than when I got picked 3 years ago. And really, and we said it, nobody wanted to come here. Yeah. Now, this is a destination. Look at the kid. The first round draft pick, Terrion Arnold said, he called the Lions and said, trade up to get me. I want to stay here. The kid slept in his hat. So did Ennis Rakestraw. Slept in his hat. They want to be here, man. The kid that we're going to talk about, the offensive lineman from Canada.
Yeah.
They said it. If he gets drafted by the Lions, sky's the limit for this guy because he's going to be able to learn from the best offensive line in football.
Everybody always asks me they ask me now, they ask me then, did you want to get drafted by the Lions? Back then it was, do you want to get drafted to the Lions? Why are you asking me this question? No, nobody wanted to play for the Detroit Lions. Nobody wanted to play when I got drafted. Nobody wanted to play 10 years after I got drafted. Hell, they didn't want to play 15 years after I got drafted. That shows you how old I am. But now the culture has changed, and it's changed in, what, 3 years? 3 years, a team said what they were going to do, and 3 years later they followed suit. The Detroit Lions, it's crazy to say this, they might be the blueprint for how you run a franchise in all 4 major sports. They might be the blueprint.
It's the world is upside down.
There's no
Hell
doubt.
must have frozen over.
Yep.
Now I want to get to this guy as well, Giovanni Manu. Okay, this is who Maz has been talking about. This is who a lot of people is. This mammoth of a human being, a 4th round pick number 126 overall. I knew nothing about it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I knew about this guy. But you look at his measurables.
We
you
read
see the
about
tape.
him.
You hear what Field Yates says, and then the Lions trade up to get the guy. You're like, okay, if like you said, if there's one team out there that is the perfect situation for a developmental player at O-line, it's this team.
Yeah, you look at Giovanni Manu. Look, I didn't even see the film on him until Saturday. But when you watch the film, he's 6'8", 350 Maz, and he can move his feet like that. Did you see how he stock blocked the rush in, blocked him into the middle of the traffic? Like, the guy can move. His first time really putting eyes on him, and then he gets the chance to sit behind Taylor Decker, sit behind Frank Ragnow, sit behind Panay Sewell, and he's from the Tongan Islands, which, like you said, is neighbor to the Samoa Islands. So Panay is gonna have his back.
Oh God, yeah.
Those guys are down. I played with some of the Ooses, as you call them, the bros. Like, I played with a couple of those. Wrestling to teach you a little bit about that. But when I was with San Francisco, whether it was Ice, whether it was Simone Pua, when I played for the New York Jets, they come to work. They bring that hard hat. Panay Sewell has taught you that. So now he gets to, and then Panay's one of his role models. He gets to play one of his role models, and it's one of those picks where these guys are getting up there in age. You talk about Taylor Decker last offseason. You talk about Frank Ragnow. They're going to eventually be gone. You get a guy who's a project, sit down, racks for a year or two. This is another heck of a pick.
Not only that, they'll be throwing to him in the end zone at 6'8".
Yeah.
Well, you know, it does feel like a need. It does feel like a luxury pick at the same time, because where this Lions team is right now, where this franchise is right now, you can take a shot on a developmental player like this in the 4th round. Yeah. You don't need a player there to come in. You're desperate on a guy. You hope he can hit this year, like Amon-Ra did in the 4th round. Not saying they were desperate to pick Amon-Ra, but you basically have to absolutely hit every single draft pick that you make when your team is as bad as the Lions were 3 or 4 years
and they
ago.
Hit 90% of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But this, because of where your roster is, you can take a shot on somebody that is a, potentially high risk, very high reward.
And I know we're going to get into the guys in the later rounds. We'll break it down, go in order. But also, doesn't it kind of feel like because of the two – I guess I should wait until we finish talking about it.
No, let's keep going here.
It seems like we took 2 shots, okay, in the middle round. It seemed like, hey, with the running back –
Sione Vaki.
Excuse me.
You got him right now, too.
He's amazing.
You want to hear Brad Holmes?
Let's do that and I'll go after.
Brad Holmes talking about Sione Vaki.
Worked out as a DB. Very long DB workout. And the DB workout was really good. And then he worked out as a running back. And then good running back. And then after the running back workout, he works out as a wide receiver. And then he does a wide receiver workout. Then he works out as a special. And you see all that, and the guys, the fact to even go through all those different phases of that workout was impressive in itself. So just the love for him just kept growing. But he's a very unique player. Again, it's nothing saying that he cannot play safety, but our vision of what he can become as a runner, but it starts with those special teams.
Please.
Yeah, and this is another one of those picks that you're really going to try to player development this guy. Look, everybody's laughing at his ability to play running back. Look, he was in the same backfield with Najee Harris when he was in high school, split time with Najee Harris. We know how good Najee Harris was at Alabama at the running back position. Now, so you know that it's a legit position there. Safety is what he's best at. It's a fundamental developmental player. He, as well as Giovanni, Manu, guys are all over the field, by the way. Vaki was all over that field for the Utah Utes. Utah, the last 2 seasons, damn good team in the Pac-12. In a tough division last year, as you point out, a tough conference.
You bet.
But it seems like they made the developmental picks. where we're going to put this guy in the secondary, which now seems to be much better, much more improved with the additions of Carlton Davis and Mickey Robinson, and now Terry and Arnold and Wakestraw. So he'll have time to kind of figure things out, if you will. But it seems like because of what they got out of the value of the back of the rounds, man, as the two players that they picked in the 6th rounds, one of these players is projected to be a 3rd-round pick, the other a 4th-round pick. You get those guys essentially in the 6th. It seems like even if you reverse the draft, you still have an A-, B+ draft and got the guys that you needed and picks that were valued the way they were supposed to be.
Both picks in the 6th round, Mekhi Wingo, the defensive tackle from LSU, and Christian Mahogany, interior offensive lineman from Boston College. Two very quality players. I think a lot of teams liked why they went in the 6th round. I don't know. Why did Amon-Ra St. Brown go in the 4th round? Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not an exact. Why did Michael Penix go number 8 to Atlanta? I don't know. The draft is not an exact science. It's very imperfect.